Hello again, this is Dev Chaos, and I wanted to show you a simple way to extend your breed so that you can let your customers define which breed objects interact with which action objects. And to do this, we have this nifty little settings area here in the action settings that allows you to define how many breeds can interact with any single action object, as well as a timeout for how long they are without the not around or not interacting with the action object before it removes them from the total number of breeds queued for that action object. These settings are very useful for a number of different simulations, but just for a basic simulation where you define a certain number, like let's say this in this situation we're going to do clans, like a group of individual breeds. I'm going to allow the end user to define which clan the breed object is in and which clan the action object represents. So what we're going to do is just set the breed description filter as this custom expression for this, meaning that the breed object and action object have to have the same exact object description for them to interact, otherwise they won't interact. So what I did here is I started the breed off with a simple setting. When they first res and initialize the breed, I made it so that the initializing text, meaning the hover text that shows over it while it's in the process of initializing, is just going to be touch to set clan, and that's what shows up right now. So as you can see, when I drag off a new copy, it shows the basic text and it will hover over it the touch to set clan text. And this is important. So what this indicates is that it has not received any start parameters from any other action objects, meaning it's not configured at the moment. So it's just waiting to initialize and sync with an action object. So what we're going to do is I created a extension for the action object, which I'll put into the repository. What this does is it listens to its own channel, and when it's touched by the owner, it'll bring up a text box where I can set the clan name, and I'll call it Beta Clan. And so I'll save that, and now this is set to Beta Clan. Once it sets it to that, it goes to a different state, meaning it goes out of this state, drops the listen and the touch. So now it does nothing when I touch it, because it only allows you to set it once. And I did the same thing for the breed object. I put this extension in, which I'll put with the other one in the plugin repository. Does the same thing. It gives you the text box where you can touch to get the text box drop down, and we'll give it the same name, and we click to set that. It tells me in local chat, and then it toggles the sync. You can do it in either order, meaning you can set the breed first and then the action object, because they both have the toggle in it, which toggles the sync event, which we defined here. That would be our custom start event, and it just basically says that this breed is now synced with the action object, because it comes from the action, or from the breed object itself, the eco breed. It tells me that it's synced with it. So now all of the functionality that I just defined later on with this can now be used within the breed object. If I drag out another one, you'll see that it needs to be touched and set to a different clan. So I'll set this as let's call this Alpha Clan. and we're going to set that, and now this breed object knows that it's set to alpha clan. There is no action object for that just yet, so I'll just create another one, and by touching that I can now set this one to alpha clan, and it'll now sync with that one. So we can have a number of different breeds. We can have 20, 30, 50 breeds that interact with this individual object, or the end user can more specifically define which one's going to be synced to it. So now what we've got going on here is I can now do the rest, use the rest of the functionality, which I defined by calling its name. I just added a fun little example here that it listens to the owner, and when the owner says something in local chat, it raises this return event that I created. It's custom event. You can name it whatever you want. It just has to be defined in the bind itself. It filters out whether the chat message included the string of its name. So if I say its name somewhere in a sentence, either one, it will continue on. If not, it will just ignore it. But if it passes this, if it says that if the name has been heard, and it will go down to the next line, which has the R filter, which is a reverse filter, where this will only pass if this passes. It moves on to the next one. The reverse filter, if this is true, it'll trigger this. If not, it'll continue down the line all the way until it reaches here. So if the chat message includes the word come, it'll trigger the come event, which I have right here. If not, it'll continue down to the next condition. If the chat message includes the word home, it'll trigger the home event with these parameters. If it includes the word stop, it'll disable the wander. If it includes the word wander, it will go down to the wander event, and it'll start moving around, just wandering, and it'll run on a timer. Well, actually, no, this doesn't run on a timer. Once it reaches its destination, it continues to wander around, because it starts the wander right here. Here we go. Start wander, binds a timer, random 10 seconds, and it will trigger the wander event. And we use the handle end wander to unbind and remove the wandering. So what we have here is a simple way to talk to the breed. So we're going to say I just use regular language. I tell it to come here, and it comes to me. It comes to the owner's position. As you can see here, as in it just stops any movement that might have been associated with wander, and then it just moves to the owner's position using the walking movement behavior. And I can even say wandering, because it'll detect that the string wander is in there. So it sets a timer between 0 and 10 seconds, which is indicated by the R as a random, and it'll start doing the wander movements, and it just starts wandering around. Just a simple little example, but that's how we can associate individual breeds with the object. Now, this guy here is in the alpha clan, which is this action object here. I'll just make another one as part of the action clan as well, or the alpha clan as well, just so you can see that it all works very well with multiple objects under the same. Enter doesn't work like that. So sent, saved. This is now part of the alpha clan, and it's synced to the alpha clan object. And and I just told Alera to come here, and height is still wandering around. Very simple little example, and I hope you can get a lot out of this. I'll post all this on the plugin repository. As you can see, the parcel is now decked out for the winter time, so everybody stay warm out there. Thanks for watching.